So, good morning. It is the next day. We went down to that dealership and we sat there for a while and went over everything. And when we drove the car, like, don't get me wrong, it was nice. It was a little bit older. And I feel like they wanted more money for it than what I felt like it was worth. And I just didn't really like it. It was like a certain trim package or something, so the grill looked really funny. It looked, I don't know, I just didn't like the grill of it. Oh, it was a GMC Yukon. I didn't like the grill of it. I didn't really care that much for it. And what they wanted to give us for our journey, the whole deal was not working out, and they felt really pushy and really made me uncomfortable. So when we left that night, we're just like, you know what, forget it. So this morning I have already found another SUV that I really like, and it has really low miles and it's way newer. So I'm gonna send it to Tony and I guess just see what he says. It's pretty far from us. This dealership's like probably 45, maybe 50 minutes away from us. So, I mean, that's not really far to most people, but we live in like the area that we're in. We're like in the middle of everything, so everything's within like 10 minutes of us normally. So when we say we have to drive like an hour to get something, it's like, oh gosh. But I know I look a mess this morning. I need to go take a shower. Anyways, so yep. So we're probably gonna go look at that other one tomorrow, since tomorrow's Saturday and because it's further away. And then, yeah, the next day is Mother's Day, so.
This is Mommy with her car for the last time.
Yeah, my girl.
So
But
we've moved on to the new hotness.
And here was my Mother's Day present. I mean, we needed it anyways, but it just happened to be on Mother's Day when we got it. Isn't she pretty? Real fancy. Okay, so I thought while we were driving tonight, or today, that I would just go ahead and just do, I got tagged by Luli Rowald. I actually have been really good friends with her for a really long time. We went to cosmetology school together, so I've known her for like 8 or 9 years. So she'd recently just started a channel, so you guys need to go over to her channel. I'll go ahead and link it, and you can just go over there and show her some love and tell her that I sent you. But she tagged me in the Mother's Day tag. So I'm just gonna go through some of these questions and answer them, but I don't have them written down, so I'm watching her video and then I'm just gonna answer them as I go. So there's gonna be a lot of different clips in here. So let's just get started. I know the first one is, how old were you when you became a mom? Oh, and if this thing seems strange, I'm trying to hold this camera up because this new dash, like it's almost at a curve, so it just wants to slide down, so that's not good. I was 19. I was 19, right? When we got pregnant, and 20 when I had Gleason.
Yeah, so you were 20 when you came.
So I was 20 when I became a mom. Let me see what the next question is. Okay, the next question is, what was the hardest part of being pregnant? For me, weeks 1 through, I want to say 14, 15, I'm super, super sick. Like with all of my kids, I was really sick. But between weeks, let's say 15 through 28, 29, sometimes 30 with them, it was complete bliss. I love being pregnant. And then after that like 30-week mark, like my back starts hurting really bad, and then I just become just miserable. But, or maybe it's 32 weeks that I like. Up until 32 weeks, maybe even 34, perfect. And then after that, it just gets miserable. Okay, the next question is, were all the things you heard about childbirth accurate or way off? In my case, I basically died when I had Gleason, so I had a really rough time with him. Cruz, I did perfect with Cruz, and with Lainey, I did perfect with Lainey. Barrett, I had a little bit of trouble with, but Gleason, I basically died and then came back. So I didn't exactly have the best experience giving birth, but I wouldn't trade my experiences for anything, because they make you take everything. You don't take anything for granted after that. So yeah, they weren't nearly as easy as what people had made it out to sound like it would be, for me anyway. The next question is, do you have any advice for new moms? I don't know. I don't know what I would say to that, because every situation is totally different. People handle things totally different. For me, with my first one, I felt like I was really just in the moment a lot with him. I mean, that was before we had, like, you know, internet on our phones all the time. We didn't even have a computer, or maybe we got a computer once Gleason was a baby, but it's not like anything that we were just like tuned into all the time, like Facebook or anything like that now. So you really just got to live in the moment and just kind of store up those memories. And then as kids, what is this person doing? And then as the more kids we had, I would say after Gleason, then we had Cruz and Barrett, and I started getting really just bent out of shape all the time because I wanted the house to look nice, and I still get that way, but at the same time, like, my husband reminds me all the time, like, well, don't stress, they're just gonna do it again. You just gotta kind of like relax and just, I mean, they're little kids and they're in a house, like, it's gonna get messy. You kind of just gotta pick and choose your battles and not really sweat the small stuff, you know. That's my only advice, I think. The next question is, what is the most surprising thing about being a mom? I would have to say you've always heard of people saying like they love their child like unconditionally, and you know, you probably even sang the George Strait song, the Unconditional Love song, but like it goes beyond that. Like, you never know your love for another human until you have a child, and the same for like your spouse. You never know how much you really love your spouse until you get to see them be a dad, or I guess if like a husband's watching this, you never get to know how much you love your wife until you see her be a mom. It just puts everything in a different perspective. Like, the love is unconditional for sure. Okay, the next question is, are you a stay-at-home mom or working mom? I'm a stay-at-home mom now. I do have my little photography business that I spend maybe, I don't know, like 2 or 3 weeks, or 2 or 3 hours a week at most working on. But other than that, I'm just a stay-at-home mom. I worked for a really long time. I worked from the time Gleason was like basically almost 4. I mean, I think I went back to work when he was like 5 months old. Yeah, until Barrett was, my third kid was basically 3. Or wait, no, he wasn't 3 yet. He was, gosh, I'm butchering this. I don't remember because I'm trying to pay attention driving. No, Barrett was about a year old whenever I stopped working and said I'm just done, because for one, it's really hard to find somebody to watch your kids when you have so many. Like, sitters become more and more scarce, but it was just so stressful trying to work and be a mom, and not even for the fact that I had to go to work and then come home and do all the mom stuff. It was for the making sure I had something lined up all the time, because you can't just, I wouldn't send my kids to a daycare, because by the time I would get done working, I wouldn't even have a paycheck. It wouldn't be worth it, especially when you have so many, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm just a stay-at-home mom now, and I'm just loving it. It's great. The next question is, do you co-sleep? And yes, I don't think my husband, I don't think he's very happy about the co-sleeping thing, but I will say that he's a trooper. When I brought Gleason home from the hospital, like I said earlier in this video, these questions, I had a really, really, really intense, rough pregnancy. And for Gleason's first week and a half of life, because I was in the heart hospital unit, I only got to see him for like an hour a day. It was broken up into 2 sessions, 2 30-minute sessions. So I only got to see him for an hour a day. That was really tough. And when we brought him home from the hospital, I was just so nervous. I remember laying him in his bassinet, and Tony and I laid in bed, and he was in our room, and he was at the bottom of our bed, and like I had just had C-section. So I remember him making some kind of noise, and I thought something was wrong, and I jumped up so fast, I kid you not, it hurt. Like, I pulled every single muscle just to see that he was perfectly fine. But as I kept having kids, like, I just didn't feel comfortable being away from them even through the night, because you just just one of those things. Some people don't feel like the constant fear, and some people do. I'm one of those people that felt like the constant fear that something was going to be wrong. And I'm a really, really, really light sleeper, so throughout the night, like Lainey, for instance, I would breastfeed her all throughout the night. Anytime I wanted to move direction, she would just go with me. I know a lot of people are going to be like, that is so terrible, or that's so not safe, but I felt like that was the best situation for her because I was such an alert sleeper, if that makes sense. I was so light, and I felt comfortable with her with me. So the next question is, how many kids are you having, or are you done having kids? We have 4 kids now, and I will say that it is a lot. We're not going to have any more. It's not safe for me to have any more, but if it's God's will, it's God's will, and we'll just roll with the punches. But I do not plan or intend on having any more. I think we are good with our 4, and I'm healthy and I'm safe now, and I don't want to jeopardize that, especially with now 4 little babies that depend on me. So I think we're good.
Clearly he's just hanging out.
I'll turn it back on and see what happens.
Well, I don't want somebody getting any of my information off there, but I don't think I got anything on there.
Oh, yeah. He just went after that wasp. Which is cool.
We're watching this big giant fight between this bee and wasp. Cruz just killed a wasp with one of those noodles like Gleason has.
You know, we got
And now he has a bat and he's just tracking him down. Hopefully you don't get hit. You're right in the line of fire.
Right. What is that out there? The hose?
Yeah.
No, Rick bought a dolphin.
So we got
it off eBay, real good price.
We've got a couple
Come
of
here,
rats
guy.
down there somewhere.
Come here. It's okay. Come here.
I brought an extra
You're trying to
towel,
just
too. I found another beach towel.
comfort that bee. Oh God, he's gonna just.
And anytime them wasps get close, he bows up on them.
God, these
funny.
towels are like.
Just enjoying Mother's Day. Watching these little rugrats. You're just not interested, are you? Oh my God! Oh, come on. Hey, Cruz, stop. I don't want to get wet. What do you think, Pumpkin? What do you think? Are you feeling extra attached today? Yeah? Okay, Mama, hold her.
Why are you drinking some?
No, he's floating.
He's floating?
It's wet.
What's wrong? What's wrong? Oh, did brother get you wet? It's cold, isn't it?
No, it isn't.
Stop. Oh, that is cold. I don't want to be wet.
Going all right.
Running out of time. I really thought you were on my side, but now there's nobody by my side. I need you, I need you, I need you right now. Yeah, I need you right now. So don't let me, don't let me, don't let me down. I think I'm losing my mind now. It's in my head, darling. I hope that you'll be here when I need you the most. So don't let me, don't let me, don't let me down. Don't let me down, don't let me down. Don't let me down, down, down. Don't let me down, don't let me down, down, down. Don't let me down, down, down. Don't let me down, don't let me down, down. I think I'm losing my mind now, yeah. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. I think I'm losing my mind now, yeah. Don't let me down.
Are you eating? Say, Grandpa, you're going to get my food wet.
Is he being funny? Is he being silly and messing with you?
Where's my food?
Oh. Don't. Okay, so we're on our way back home now from my dad's house. So I was just going to finish up these questions. All right, the next one is kids' favorite food. And I would have to say for most of them, it's everything that they shouldn't have. Like, you know, like the healthy parents don't feed their kids. But, you know, YOLO. No, Cruz and Barrett will eat like any of like the grilled chicken that I cook or baked chicken and rice. Glayson's more like of the picky one, and Lainey, she's still trying to find like her appetite and things. Right now she changes her mind day to day. Alright, the next question. Do you hear? She's starting to say stop it now. It sounds like bop it. The next question is a must-have toddler gear. We're not really a big need to run out and buy everything that's trending type of family. Like, we don't really do lots of different gear. We just do pretty much bare necessities and just make sure the kids are not in harm's way. So I was just asking Tony, I'm like, what is something that we would use? And he's like, gates. I'm like, that's true. Baby gates are a must for us, so we can block them off at a certain area. Like, for a long time we had a gate between like our hall closet and entryway to block like Lainey into the living room and dining room and kitchen, the rest of the house area, instead of her going upstairs. You can't see me because the light's weird now. Let's see if I can lighten this up. There we go. Now I'm too bright. So yeah, baby gates. Let's see what the next question is. Okay, the next question is, what would be your dream vacation with kids? I'm honestly not like a big Disneyland or amusement parks person. I just find it silly to wait in line, even if you get the fast passes and things like that. I'm just not a wait in line kind of person. My dream or ideal vacation with kids would be to be on like a beach, like a very remote, very private beach, where we could just to Bora Bora. Gleason knows I want to go to Bora Bora, but something that's just very, very quaint and quiet, so we could just kind of have some downtime to ourselves. I'm like not like a really big people person, believe it or not, but I think that would be my dream vacation, with or without kids. That would just be great, or even when they're older, you know, or younger. Anytime would be great. Okay, the next question is, how has your life changed since kids? Because I became a mom so young, I feel like I I went from just being a kid to instantly being a mom. So I don't really know what it was like to just be without kids, without being a kid myself, but I can't imagine it. And I can't imagine having kids any later than what I did for my very own life. It's just nice. I just don't know what I'd be doing if I wasn't just being a mom. This lighting is crazy. It's like the sun's going down right now. So as we're driving, it's a pretty drive. Are you choking back there? Do you guys want to see what Tony's pet peeve is? We're on this terrible windy road, and if you look around the corner,
Yeah, we're stuck.
there's bicyclists. That's his pet peeve.
You want to know why it's my pet peeve? It's because they want to get on the road and get all the benefits of being able to ride their bike on the road, you know, bike friendly, but they don't want to follow anything. These people will not stop at stop signs. I'm sorry, I have to refrain from cussing. They won't stop at, they don't follow any traffic rules, but they want all the benefits of being able to ride on the road.
Preach it, Daddy. Preach it.
Hey, you know I had horrible run-ins
Yeah.
with bicyclists.
We were on our way down to Dad's house that one time when the bicyclist ran right in front of us and then
He cut me off and then started hitting the car, saying, "Are you crazy?"
Oh, it was great. I mean, it wasn't great at the time. We talked about it for like a month straight. Like, can you believe that guy?
Yeah, they don't follow any of the signs.
Look at this guy up here.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
I can't get any closer. Like, what's our speed right now? We're not even doing.
I'm doing 20 and slowing down.
Yeah, and we're in 50-mile-per-hour road.
Usain Bolt can jog faster than she's riding.
Oh, it's so true. Just get out of the way. Go on your little trail.
For anybody who wants to contest that, they clocked them at over 29 miles per hour, so I don't want to hear it. Yeah, get out of the way. Thanks.
Thank you. Good night. Yeah, you're being filmed.
They're on bikes and they got on the worst windy downhill part. You can come going out of.
Hey, I hear you. I know.
You know.
I know. Believe me. Like when I was telling you guys about it, let me flip my screen out so I can see. When I was telling you guys about it, at the time we had lived in like an apartment. We were pulling out of our apartment was at the very back of a street. It was like a one-way. You couldn't go through anywhere else. So as we were pulling out of our complex and coming up this big giant hill, they were just there. Like,
he cut me off.
And yeah, he just went straight in front of our car, like with no fear and no like. He acted like he just owned the
There's
road.
a stop sign there coming up to that bridge, and he went right through the stop sign.
So after that, I didn't get to show you guys the inside of the new car. It's really nice. It's very pretty. This wood grain is like so beautiful. It's so nice. And we already are filling it up. This is all coming out of the car as soon as we get home, but the kids are That was great. Glayson's just in his Batman mask, honey. We have one of the seats just folded down, so it's easy. Yeah. I love it in here. It's very nice, very spacious. I got lucky. This is my Mother's Day gift, huh? This is the top my grandma got me. It has this cute little cutout up here, and it ties down at the bottom. Oh, and then there's this baby right here. Oh, nice. I already showed you my shirt that my mom got me. I'm wearing it. But this is the ones that my dad got me. The first 5 days after the weekend are always the hardest. It's funny. And then don't act like you're not impressed. A very crabby baby.